Yes,
as a
the
way to deal with this.
Zetterburn is a tried and true counter pick. We've seen it online, we've seen it in LAN, and it is something that Cakeassault is not afraid to bring out against opponents. Heck, we've seen it all the way back against Ralph in Genesis 4.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah,
so
the Zetterburn has been around for many years. We don't see it often, but when we do, it's a treat.
it's another legacy of Genesis. That's fantastic. And it makes sense, too, especially with Forsburn sometimes struggling to deal with close combat encounter, right? You relies a lot on clone, on smoke in order to leverage his neutral game. Well, if you're being smothered completely by an opponent, having that Zetterburn, that Spacey, who's able to set opponents on fire and just absolutely destroy stocks, that could be very useful if it turns out he can get any breathing room against Kusi.
Frame 5 down strong, by the way.
Frame 5. That's even more perfect than the Arcane.
Yeah, it's even better.
Yeah. We're starting here on Forest Floor.
Yeah, this is the third Forest Floor start we've seen, actually. This is a popular stage today.
Okay. People just like exploding off the top.
Yeah, it's a great stage. A lot of like the platform layout's beautiful. The only thing that can be a drawback is, like you said, that top blast zone. And if you're Cakeassault, you're happy that you're here because you're gonna live longer off the side. And if you're also happy because you're down strong, which is what turned out to be one of his biggest kill options against Zaro in that first set, was the down strong that kills off the top. Speaking of killing off the top, right there. Yeah, we talked about it earlier, but Ori being a fast follower and light means that a lot of those combos that would work on characters but wouldn't quite kill will still work on this light character but actually result in stocks, especially on slightly off DI. Back air, especially in the air, is a very difficult one to DI because if you go in, you're going to die off the top. And if you're on this stage, you're dying off the top even sooner. And once again, that back air finding stock. Oh my goodness. Kusi has no air dodge. And is dead. Did that hit a minute? That was 53 seconds, I think. Yeah. Yeah. See me in person, and we'll finish this set in 3 minutes and make the Genesis staff happy that we are gonna go on time. Yeah. Cakeassault is honestly just doing his part to be part of the schedule. Yeah, smoke camping on the stage is extremely potent. Going diagonal from top platforms to middle platform means that you get to spread smoke over a large part of the stage and also, like you said, slow down the game. He dashed back down strong to catch the forward air, and the Ori will die very quickly off the top to that one. That is a call out and a half. All right, so basically we have the 2v2, 2 stocks apiece, and while this started out to be a great start from Kusi, Cakeassault was answering back right away. Kusi, though, catching a fantastic parry on a dash attack and going to kill off the top with a partner up strong. Yeah, so Kusi off stage now, getting the edge guard against Cakeassault, who goes for a ledge dash down tilt and doesn't quite find it. But Kusi is still just hammering this edge guard, 2 stocks to 1, and we're seeing a very stark difference from game 1. Cakeassault now coming back on stage and gets some good DI on that final up air. Not going to die quite yet, but man, lapping in percent, Kusi is just dominating this final stock. Oh, and the parry at the ledge is going to do it. Holds straight out. Kusi gets the partner 4 strong, and we find the stock. Kusi now on the board 1-1, not being shaken at all by that quick game 1. Maybe just needed a breath.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. I needed a breath.
I could hear you before. I love hearing you. It's great.
Thank you. I love hearing you too, Steven. But what a turnaround, though, for Kusi.
Yeah, that was crazy. Absolutely crazy.
It's like that first game didn't even happen. It was he warmed up by getting beat up.
Yeah. Like, I can't remember what I'm thinking of, but, you take a bunch of punches, and then eventually your opponent gets tired.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a Simpsons episode, actually.
I think isn't that what Rocky was? No, never mind. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, the rope-a-dope. That's what it was.
Yes.
Eventually, your opponent wears themselves out because they're just beating on you too hard, and then all of a sudden, they're tired, and you hit right back.
Okay, but a stage to maybe not be too tired on is Air Armada. This stage has some really close blast zones both on the top and on the side, but also the recovery on this stage is pretty scary. It's the one stage where the wall doesn't extend all the way down, which means you have so much less margin for error in coming back. And beautiful follow-up on the back air on that high platform, not high enough to get away from Cakeassault.
Yeah, there's another DI in on one of Cake's, like conversion starters, and then Cake just lands on the platform and reads the tech.
Looking for it, finds the back air, stalls off stage, and this time Kusi chooses to go very high to get over and turns around the situation.
Yeah, and Kusi's been doing a great job of not only edge guarding the Forsburn, but clearing the smoke in the process, avoiding clone, and just basically like the way you deal with Forsburn is you rinse and repeat that edge guard.
Right, and one way you can make sure those rinses happen is making sure he can't land in that smoke and refresh his resources, right?
Exactly. And Cakeassault now off stage, coming back with a very aggressive back air, and Kusi respecting it, backing off, and continuing the edge guard once again.
Oh, and that's a little cheekiness,
beautiful.
Forsburn specific stuff, being able to go. He can't get pineappled here. He goes through the pineapple.
And even more crazy was that wasn't even Cakeassault that did it. That was his clone.
Oh my gosh, Cake.
Cakeassault went left. His clone went from under the stage. That was one of the coolest recoveries I've ever seen, but and he's still alive as a result. 152%, 3 stocks to 1. And we're seeing these games go back and forth in terms of dominance. Like you see one game, you're like, wow, this person's got the other guy downloaded. Yeah. And then you see it the other way, and the same thing. But all of a sudden now we are at 2 stocks to 1, 46% on Kusi, 0 on Cakeassault, and it just looks like insurmountable.
I'm just still shocked that Kusi recovered one time using Bash.
No, Bash is actually a crazy recovery tool because it shrinks your hurt box. It changes your hurt box to be like equal to Bash. And if your opponent overextends, you also get a cheeky reversal.
I see. So that was a very calculated play, but it wasn't enough though. Cakeassault responding back with a 2-stock. These two are just going back and forth. But the thing we have to remember is that was game 3, a 5-game set. Yep. Cake won, which means he's on counterpick advantage. If Kusi gets, once again, another game of dominance, it's Cake's turn to return the favor on the stage of his choice for the deciding game.
And if I'm Cake, I am going to be banning the bigger stages because even though Frozen Fortress was a good Forsburn stage, it gave Kusi the ability to slow down the game, push to those top outside platforms, and also use the incredibly long ground to make sure that Cakeassault couldn't suffocate Kusi.
Yeah.
And so if I'm Cakeassault, I'm banning
Rockwall probably, right?
Rockwall, I'm banning Fire Capital, and I'm banning anything that basically gives Kusi the ability to run away and slow things down. If you're Cakeassault, you want a fast game.
Yes. Endless Abyss, too, I imagine, would be especially painful to fight Orion, too.
Yeah, Endless Abyss, I think, is just a free ban in general if you're Forsburn against any character.
Oh, yeah, okay.
It is a rough stage because Forsburn has one of the worst recoveries in the game. Right. It could be arguable that it's the worst. It's not a consensus.
Time for that can of worms. Yeah.
But it is a very difficult recovery to be good with, and even at the very top level, you're probably banning that stage against every character, especially one that has the edge guard capabilities that Ori has.
Right, yeah. And you are right absolutely about having so much space to play with, because like having one of the fastest, if not the fastest horizontal movement speed, right? Just being able to retreat and have so many neutral interactions where you can choose retreat and not be cornered. right? The larger the stage is, the more that becomes an option. And we have Blazing Hideout as the long stage chosen here by Kusi.
Yeah, and this was a counter pick. We actually saw Zaro take Cakeassault 2 as well. And it seems to be a popular one. The Forsburn does get plat drop aerials from it, but it is a much bigger blast zone stage, and it gives the Ori a little bit more room to kind of dash back on a full-size platform as opposed to getting stuck on a small platform.
And I think another benefit of this stage is we saw Kusi like being hesitant about holding out on DI for the combos, and that's why Cakeassault is finding the follow-ups. On this large side blast zones, it's easier to do that in comfort.
Yes, absolutely. And yeah, Kusi retreating to that top platform and finding the plat drop aerial parry and getting the first stock in this game 4.
Getting a customary dance, as we see so many players doing on this Sunday.
Oh, yeah. If you're not having fun, then why are you here, right?
I mean, it's why I love Rivals. There's so much energy from the competitors, even for their opponents. You saw that just dash dance? The intimidation!
That's one thing that I haven't seen.
And the bash following up right afterwards with the 360 no-scope.
So that dash dance to beta parry is something that I haven't seen Cakeassault really fall for often since Blue did it to him at Heatwave 3. Blue was able to utilize dash dance extremely well in both of those sets that they played and force panic parries.
Yeah, and we're seeing that same pressure coming out from Kusi, having another character that has this rush down capacity in terms of movement. Again, another parry weight.
A 3-stock coming right back. This hits the narrative of domination one way, flipping the script, flipping it back, and flipping it again.
But the story that time was just absolutely beating out Cake's parry attempts, right?
Yeah.
Waiting over and over and over again. That last stock was like 3 or 4 parry punishes.
Yeah, and that game was different in terms of how Kusi won. When Cakeassault won, it was suffocating both times. The first game Kusi won was methodical. It was edge guards and long, drawn-out like
exchanges.
Just rinse and repeats back and forth. But this time, Kusi was the one suffocating. Kusi realized what Cake was doing. Was like, I think I can do that better than you on this stage.
And what's scary is going into Game 5, it might be Cake's counterpick, but he doesn't know which version of Kusi he's going to get. He needs to make sure he picks a stage where he can deal with both of them, right? Whether it's going to be the intimidation Kusi right in your face, let's play chicken, or we're going to go ahead and just choke out your options over time.
Get you a man that can deal with both.
I mean, he does have a clone, right?
He does. Yeah, there you go. And we are going to Spirit Tree.
Oh,
I love it. This is a stage with small blast zones, overhanging platforms for better recovery, and this is going to be a quick game.
Yeah, this is one of Cake's favorite stages because that OS and his tag, it's the operating system of combos, right? And he believes he can just kill you off of almost any neutral win on this stage. But the thing is, Ori also has an incredible punish game, incredible carry combos. This is scary, but Cakeassault has those guts to be able to go to something like this on a potentially tournament-ending set.
Yeah, and one thing we're seeing a lot, too, from both these players, these characters all send horizontally on their combo moves. You're seeing a lot of no-techs on purpose because sliding off of horizontal, like tech chase opportunities actually makes you actionable quicker and gives you the momentum from the slide. And Cakeassault and Kusi both have been utilizing that extremely well right there as well. But Kusi, recognizing that Cake was going to be very actionable, and instead drops down and just dashes back.
Yeah, we get ourselves a down strong by Cakeassault. We saw just so much careful play in terms of the recovery and edge guarding coming out from Cakeassault that stock. Even more tricks coming out in this final game. You've got to have so many if you make losers runs on the regular like Cake. And we have the up air. Once again, Cakeassault just barely out of reach for a follow-up. That's going to give him chance for another big opening here. Drifting out once again.
Wow!
This is a small blast zone stage. Being able to be between an Ori and death that consistently is really hard.
And Cakeassault just saved Kusi right there. Kusi was not actually making it over the ledge and gives him the second lease on life, but the parry punish and the hard DI out is going to go off the side. Kusi was actionable maybe for a frame or two right in the blast zone there, but drifting out as well.
Now we have a spike and Cake throwing out his clone off stage. This is going to be a tricky recovery, just trying to poke ahead, and we have Combust interrupted by the Paracel.
There it goes, and there it went. Kusi now has Cakeassault at
waiting for a parry!
92% and can't find the kill. Sets back to stage and finally gets the parry.
202% on Spirit Tree. That is a maximum value stock. That stock 2 for 1 or 3 for 1, man. Down strong's not quite going to do it, but 82%.
That up air almost killed off the top.
Down strong's going to do it. Cakeassault wins 3-2 over Kusi. Yells, yes! So excited to redeem himself against the Scourge in Season 5. Kusi having a fantastic run, getting 4th at his first offline event, and what an offline event. Genesis on top of that. I look forward to seeing more of Kusi's play
yeah, what
in
an
the
incredible
future.
run.
Absolutely amazing. Really bringing out the most of Ori out here. And now we get the run back.
Yeah, now we get to see both the people that knocked Kusi out of this tournament playing each other. Once again, these two had an incredible Game 5 set in winner's side.
Yeah.
Winner's quarters. Soul Rifle was the 8th seed of this tournament. And in winner's side, it came down to the absolute wire. Here we are looking at the replays here. It was a war of attrition.